Hi guys and welcome back to SwitchUp. My goodness, that Paper Mario reveal though, very nice. But we're going to look at a performance review of the just released Elder Scrolls Blades title on the Switch. We'll go through some of the features, the frame rates, some of the features the game offers, and a few of my thoughts on it. I don't think it's a game that I'm going to do a full review on. Is it worth the time, even though it's free? Well, let's find out. First up then, and the most important area, let's look at the frame rates of the game. It is running at a locked out 30 frames per second for the majority of the time. And there's an issue that we really need to talk about that I've experienced 4 times now. As it currently stands in the build that's been released, sometimes if you go to swing your sword, it might get stuck and you won't be able to do anything until you go into the menu and then come back out again. It's such an obvious bug to have still in the game, and it's just a bit strange. The frames per second at 30 again feels a bit disappointing for a title that's essentially a mobile game that sees you moving down small enclosed spaces that really should be 60. But that being said, I know it was running at 30 even on the iPad Pro, so you know, there's that. Texture resolution. Oh, texture resolution. It's not looking great. It's not looking great at all. Everything from the facial textures to the grass, can you call that grass, to the floor. I mean, after that recent Unreal 5 tech engine reveal, this is this is making me feel a little bit sad, if I'm honest. The overall art style and direction is decent, and some of the pieces of armor you can acquire and the weapons, they'll look familiar for any fans of Skyrim or Oblivion, but Skyrim or Oblivion this is not. There's quite a bit of pop in here as well. While you control the game with the left and right sticks, as you move through the levels you will see a good deal of pop in if you look anywhere in front of your feet. It's a strange one because I saw still images of the title and thought, wow, that looks incredible, just like Skyrim, but when you see it in motion, it doesn't quite hold up to that. Now that's not to say it's a poor title. There are 2 different distinct areas. You have your main town area where you'll have to rebuild what was initially destroyed at the outset of the story. To do this, you'll go on a number of quests, but the actual rebuilding requires gems and coins. Green gems that you can buy. Oh no. This is mainly why I can't do a proper review on this game, because the free-to-play model on top of one of my favourite series of all time, I can't do a proper review of this. I know I can't, so I just won't bother. The character creation tools are quite extensive, but you won't find quite the same level of detail as you would in a full release. But I was still able to make probably the greatest character of all time in the world of Tamriel, Arrow to me. There he is. Load times in general seem to be okay. They're not great. They're not nearly as good as I was expecting them to be. You can wait from 20 to 30 seconds before getting into an area. Feels just a tad too long in my opinion. When you go on mission, you're generally in some form of pre-designed linear dungeon, seeing you move through it towards a goal. Combat, if you haven't noticed already, isn't your traditional style. Here you're locked in place and you have the enemy face you, at which point you can strike, fire magic, use spells, heal yourself, and bring up your shield just at the right time to stun them and then being able to attack. I initially thought this was going to be terrible. It's actually quite fun and quite well implemented. Let's be honest, Skyrim's combat wasn't exactly amazing, but again, don't expect to be sitting on a rock 300 meters away from something and having the freedom to pick their head off. It's just not going to happen here. This is very much an old school dungeon crawler, and it actually does that aspect really well. It's just a shame, in my opinion, that it has so much of that free-to-playery draped over it. You'll be finding chests that have the traditional gambling mechanic you'd expect, with random items dropping inside of it, and hopefully you pick up a few of those green gems. Enemy models look okay, again, not amazing. Something Blades does do reasonably well to its credit. Some of the lighting in those dungeons, it's not ray traced, it's not even dynamic, to be honest. It's just different shaders used, and it just looks okay. Overall then, the game performs well enough. It runs at 30, the textures are It's a title that's free, and you can certainly get a good amount of classic dungeon running in it if that's what you're looking for. I'm not saying it's a bad title. It's not one that I'm going to be playing a great deal of. There's far better on the Switch, including its very own cousin, Skyrim itself. Do I want to buy £74 worth of green gems? No, I don't. Enjoy the game though. If you've just downloaded it, it has that addictive quality. It's just a touch too shallow for my liking. A big thanks to all of you who enjoy the channel and watch and do all the little comments and bits and bobs. And a big thanks to our patrons who support us each and every month. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!